Hello, my name is Peter Kovacek, and I'll be presenting a webinar on October 10th on First Impression Management. This webinar is sponsored by the Section on Health Policy and Administration, HPA, The Catalyst. In today's session, I'd like to explain to you a little bit about this webinar and hope you find that it meets your needs. So what I'd like you to understand as we go through today's session, in the next 5 minutes or so, I will be covering what is First Impression Management, why is First Impression Management important to physical therapists? What will the webcast cover? How will it help you? What will you learn from the webcast? Who should attend this? What types of practices is this webcast going to be best for? What impact will it have on my practice and my leadership skills? And then lastly, a little bit about my background of why I might be qualified to address this topic. So first of all, what is First Impression Management? First impression management is defined as those initial actions we take as clinicians and as practices to allow the patient and others involved in the care environment to have the greatest chance of clinical success and the most positive experience while they're in therapy. First impression management sets you and the patient up for success both now and into the future. Now, why is this important? Many clinicians are very uncomfortable helping patients understand the depth and breadth of our skills. We often label ourselves as being lousy at marketing, and in order for us to exceed individually and collectively as a profession, our patients really must understand the value of what we do. This will help you explain that to them. What will the webcast cover? Well, here's an outline. Included in this webinar will be a little bit about the problem, which is you're a great clinician and not everybody knows it. Also, patients currently have more at stake financially as their copays and deductibles have increased, and how do we work with a new consumerism model for healthcare? We'll talk about some of the downsides of consumerism. We'll also talk about patient emotional commitment, the promises and guarantees that you should make with every patient, and the promises and guarantees you should never make with any patient. We'll talk about measures of success in therapy from the patient's perspective and patient satisfaction, the perceived value and expectations that patients come to and walk away from our practice with. We'll talk about positive patient impressions, including first impressions, and what are some of the best ways to make those. We'll talk about some of the evidence that we have on patient interactions, including the 4 habits model of Frankl and Hertzberg's motivation hygiene theory of behavior, with a special emphasis on negative packaging. We'll talk about strategies that you may be able to use for first impression management and converting patients into lifelong customers. There'll be an opportunity for you to complete a self-assessment on your patient management skills and to develop a personal action plan in this area. How will this help you? Well, we all need to understand that as great as clinicians we may be, patients really don't have a good way to understand what skills we have. They may not know it, or if you are a great clinician, it may be the case that not enough people know it. So we're going to look at the issue of how patients judge us because it really does matter. They judge not only us, but also our practice and also our profession. What will you learn from this webcast? Well, here's the objectives. During this webcast, and at the completion of this webcast, you should be able to articulate the critical components of positive first impressions, of patient satisfaction, and patient loyalty. You should be able to address patient financial commitment as it relates to patient emotional commitment to therapy. You should be able to list options available to succeed as a therapist in a high deductible patient as consumer world. You should be able to understand some of the evidence-based models of patient management interactions, such as Frankl's 4 habits model and Hertzberg's theory of motivation hygiene. You'll be able to complete a self-assessment of your personal clinical productivity and first impression management skills. You'll be able to develop a personal action plan to incorporate this information into your clinical practice, and you'll be able to do that with the assistance of your peers and managers in your practice environment. Who should attend this? Well, people who should attend this would include therapists, assistants, other clinical personnel, and also other supportive clerical personnel, such as front desk and billing individuals who act as intermediaries with our patients, managers of the above 4 groups, leaders within your practice, private practice owners, and especially educators who are going to work with the next generations of therapists and other clinicians. What types of practice is this webcast right for? Well, in reality, it's right for any practice that really cares about its patients and its own future success and the success of their patients. What impact will this have on your practice and your leadership skills? Well, when you get done, I think you'll be better at customer service, have a better understanding of marketing, be better at representing your profession, and better at helping your team and your practice succeed. Additionally, you'll be better at helping your patients recognize their success. Okay, a little bit about my background. Why am I qualified to do this? Well, I'm a physical therapist and an APTA member since 1977. I am past president of the Section on Administration, which was later merged with the Section on Health Policy to become the Section on Health Policy and Administration. I'm the owner of multiple private practices in multiple states and in multiple types of venues. I've had over 20 years experience in health system administration. I'm also an author and a lecturer of a couple of textbooks, and I've lectured widely around the country. I'm faculty at multiple universities, and I'm a member of the LAMP faculty. And I'm also a member of the APTA Leadership Development Committee. So what I'd like to do at this point is invite you to come join us for a First Impression Management webinar on October 10th, 2013. You'll start at 2 o'clock and go to about 3:30. And in order to do that, go to www.aptahpa.org. I look forward to seeing you at the First Impression Management webinar in October. This is Peter Kovacek saying thank you for participating, and I wish you all the best.